There was once a village where people feared only three things: a season without rain, a chief without wisdom, and a lover whose heart had turned jealous. The elders used to say jealousy was not born like ordinary anger. No. Jealousy slept quietly inside the ribs like a snake beneath warm sand. And once fed, it never stopped eating. In the village of Iloran, beneath giant baobab trees and red evening skies, lived a young herbalist named Sade. Men crossed rivers to admire her beauty. Women copied the beads in her hair. Even the market birds seemed to sing louder when she passed. But Sade's greatest pride was not her beauty. It was the handsome hunter promised to her since childhood. His name was Ton. Tall as a palm tree, strong as carved ebony, and foolish in the way handsome men often are. When Ton laughed, women turned their heads. When he danced during moon festivals, even married wives found excuses to stand closer to the drums. At first, Sade found this amusing, then annoying, then unbearable. Because the closer the wedding day came, the more attention Ton received. Women brought him roasted meat. Young girls offered him carved bracelets. Widows called him into their compounds for help with broken fences that somehow never seemed broken before. Each time Ton returned smiling politely, Sade's stomach tightened harder. One evening during the harvest dance, Sade watched a girl named Amora place a flower behind Ton's ear while laughing softly beside him. Ton removed the flower immediately. But Sade had already seen enough. That night, while thunder rolled beyond the hills, she visited the oldest part of the forest. No villager entered that forest after dark. Not unless desperation had already swallowed wisdom. The trees there twisted like giant hands. Strange whispers floated between branches. And somewhere deep within the darkness stood a crooked hut covered in hanging bones and dried roots. Inside lived Mama Ikon, the spirit herbalist. Some called her. Others called her cursed. Most simply avoided her. Mama Ikon looked up slowly as Sade entered. "You smell of jealousy," the old woman said immediately. Sade stiffened. "I came for help." "Jealous people never come for help," Mama Ikon replied. "They come for control." The hut fell silent except for rain tapping against the roof. Finally Sade spoke softly. "I only want my husband to love me more than anyone else." Mama Ikon laughed. It was not a pleasant laugh. Love is like smoke. Hold it too tightly, and it slips through your fingers. But Sade insisted. So the old herbalist reached beneath her table and removed a tiny clay bottle filled with glowing red liquid. "One drop in palm wine," she warned. "No more." Sade grabbed the bottle quickly. "What does it do?" "It awakens devotion." "And the cost?" Mama Ikon's cloudy eyes narrowed. "Every potion collects payment eventually." But Sade was already leaving. People rarely hear warnings when desire is speaking louder. The next evening, Sade poured one small drop into Ton's drink before dinner. At first, nothing happened. Then slowly, Ton began changing. He stopped wandering the village. Stopped laughing with strangers. Stopped dancing with friends. His eyes followed only Sade now. He brought her gifts every morning. Wild flowers. Fresh fish. Golden cloth from traders. When other women approached him, he barely noticed them. Sade should have been satisfied. Instead, she became addicted to being adored. The way Ton looked at her made her feel powerful, important, untouchable. And soon, others noticed. "How did you tame him?" women whispered. "What charm did you use?" At first, Sade denied everything. But temptation grows quickly when coins begin shaking inside a purse. So she started selling tiny portions of the potion secretly. A lonely wife bought some first. Then a jealous husband. Then a widow hoping to attract a wealthy farmer. Soon villagers visited Sade at night carrying gifts and begging for her mixtures. And every time Sade handed someone a bottle, her wealth grew. New beads. Fine fabrics. Goats. Cowrie shells. People began treating her like royalty. Meanwhile, strange things started happening in Iloran. A fisherman abandoned his nets because he refused to leave his wife's side. Two brothers nearly fought each other with machetes over the same woman after both drank Sada's potion. One village elder became so obsessed with a young dancer that he forgot important ceremonies entirely. People stopped thinking clearly. Desire spread through Iloran like wildfire through dry grass. And still, Sade continued selling. Because greed always whispers one dangerous sentence. Just a little more. Then one market day, a traveler arrived. His name was Jabari. He wore crimson robes and carried a carved walking stick shaped like a serpent. Unlike other men, Jabari did not stare openly at Sade, which immediately made her curious. The traveler smiled politely when they met. Nothing more. No compliments. No lingering eyes. No desperate admiration. For the first time in months, someone seemed immune to her charm. That night Sade could not stop thinking about him. By morning, she found herself searching the market crowd for his crimson robes. By evening, she was inventing excuses to pass by his guest hut. And when Jabari merely bowed respectfully before continuing his conversation with others, Sade felt something unfamiliar. Frustration. She wanted his attention. Needed it. Which made no sense at all. After all, she already possessed the devotion of nearly half the village. But desire is a greedy spirit. Once it enters the heart, nothing feels like enough. So Sade made a terrible mistake. She drank her own potion. Only a sip. Just enough, she thought, to encourage faith. The effect came quickly. Too quickly. The way his fingers rested against his walking stick. When he disappeared from sight, her chest tightened painfully. She stopped sleeping. Stopped eating properly. Stopped caring about Ton entirely. Meanwhile, Ton still followed her faithfully like a loyal shadow, confused by her sudden coldness. Villagers began whispering. The herbalist looks sick. No, others said knowingly. She looks possessed. And perhaps she was. Because obsession and possession are cousins that wear the same face. Days later, during the Moon Feast festival, Sade finally approached Jabari directly beneath hanging lanterns. You avoid me, she said softly. Jabari smiled faintly. I avoid traps. The words unsettled her. Still, she pressed closer. Do you not find me beautiful? Beauty is easy to find, he replied. Peace is rare. That answer only deepened her obsession. For the first time in her life, Sade could not control someone's attention. And it drove her nearly mad. So that night, she secretly poured 3 full drops of potion into Jabari's drink. Far more than Mama Iken had warned. She waited eagerly for morning, certain he would finally belong to her. Instead, the entire village woke screaming. Chaos exploded across Iloran. People argued violently in the streets. Jealous husbands accused innocent wives. Friends turned against each other. Lovers clung desperately together, refusing to walk, eat, or sleep. The potion's influence had somehow spread through the festival wine shared by everyone. Desire flooded the village like floodwater breaking a dam. And at the center of the madness stood Jabari completely calm. Watching. Sade stumbled toward him desperately. What happened? The traveler sighed heavily. You fed hunger until it swallowed the village. Sade grabbed his arm. Help me stop this. But Jabari's eyes suddenly changed. Golden light flickered inside them. Wind stirred violently around his ropes. And slowly, his appearance shifted. Not fully human. Not entirely spirit. Sade staggered backward in terror. I am a wanderer between villages, Jabari said calmly. I go where hearts begin rotting from greed. The drums from the festival suddenly cracked apart on their own. Lanterns burst overhead. Villagers cried and fought beneath the moonlight. You wanted devotion, Jabari continued. But devotion forced through manipulation always becomes poison. Sade fell to her knees trembling. I only wanted to be loved. No, Jabari replied sadly. You wanted to be chosen above everyone else. The truth struck harder than any slap. Because deep inside, she knew he was right. Jabari pointed toward the burning festival fires. Now choose. Save your pride, or save your people. Then he vanished into smoke. Sade ran through the village in panic. Everywhere she looked, obsession had turned people into strangers. One woman clawed another over imagined betrayal. A man abandoned his crying child while chasing after someone under the potion spell. Even Ton sat alone beneath a tree staring blankly at the moon, his love twisted into emptiness. At last Sade understood. She had not created love. Only hunger. And hunger never ends peacefully. Before sunrise, Sade returned to the forbidden forest. Mama Iken sat waiting beside a boiling pot. You have come to pay the debt, the old woman said. Sade collapsed before her. Please help me. The old herbalist studied her quietly. Then handed her a bowl filled with bitter black liquid. This will break the enchantment. Relief flooded Sade's face. But Mama Iken raised one finger. Every cure requires sacrifice. What sacrifice? You must drink first. Sade hesitated. The liquid smelled foul enough to wake the dead. What will happen to me? Mama Iken looked directly into her eyes. You will never again be able to force love from another soul. Sade's voice trembled. That is all. The old woman laughed softly. To someone addicted to control, yes. That is everything. For a long moment, Sade stared at the bowl. Then finally, she drank. The bitterness burned like fire down her throat. Tears filled her eyes instantly. But outside, the wind began changing. By sunrise, villagers slowly awakened from the madness. Confusion spread through Iloran as people remembered their foolish behavior. Shame followed quickly after. The chief ordered every remaining potion burned beneath the sacred baobab tree. The flames turned green as they rose into the morning sky. Ton approached Sade quietly later that evening. For the first time in months, his eyes looked clear again. But different. No unnatural devotion. No spellbound worship. Only honesty. You frightened me, he admitted softly. Sade lowered her gaze. I frightened myself. Ton sat beside her beneath the tree. Neither spoke for a while. Then finally he asked, do you still wish to marry me? Sade looked at him carefully. Really carefully. Not as a possession. Not as proof of victory over other women. Simply as a man. Flawed. Kind. Human. And slowly, she smiled. Only if you choose me freely. Ton laughed gently. That should have been the first question. Years later, elders in Iloran still warned young lovers about Sade's potions. Not because magic was evil. But because hearts chained by manipulation eventually bite the hand that holds them. And to this day, whenever jealousy begins whispering too loudly inside someone's chest, old women simply shake their heads and say, careful. Even love can become poison when mixed with greed.